internet.
Want me to turn them off?
Are we ready?
No, it's 7 now.
All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on December 4th, 2019. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman Laws. Here. Alderwoman Kelly is here. Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderman Harry Gathright. Alderman Klee. And our chair, Mayor Donches.
I'm here.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, point of order. I did receive a phone call from Alderman Klee. She had a little bit of an emergency, and she was hoping to make it, but she's in the queue at Southern, so.
Oh, okay.
I says take the night off.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting us know. I hope she's feeling better soon. Public, I did see something on Facebook, I think. Public comment? Is there anyone who'd like to speak from the public? Apparently not. Communications. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Camille Pattison, Transportation Manager, regarding Finance Committee change order for one front runner van. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept, place on file, and authorize the change order for one front runner van for a total revised cost of $122,589, a reduction of $1,305.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kukin, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract for the tree removal services in Nashua Downtown Riverfront with a value of $200,000. Department 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront Promenade, TIF.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract for tree removal services in Nashua Downtown Riverfront to Accurate Tree Removal Services in the amount of $200,000. Funds are available in Department 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront Promenade, TIF.
And Mr. Cummings is here to discuss this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, Tim Cummings, Director of Economic Development. What you have before you is a contract that will essentially kick off or start our implementation of the Nashua Riverfront development plan that we did about two and a half years ago. So it's a master plan to redevelop the downtown area's riverfront area by putting in most importantly, a river walk with some other amenities. Later on this evening, there's a contract before you that speaks in greater detail. But to do that, we need to open up the riverfront, remove some trees, some vegetation that's in the area. We have actually started doing it with some removal of some invasive species, which if anyone had an opportunity to go down and look at the waterfront after that was done, it actually helped transform the area greatly. So before you was a contract that went out for an RFP, actually twice. Second time around, we had quite a few respondents. We've interviewed the groups and narrowed it down to Accurate Tree Service, which happened to be the lowest bidder.
Discussion? Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, Mr. Cummings, I was reading the contract, and it says you got to cut the trees down as close you can to the surface, which is fine for the smaller trees. But are there any large ones that would be any grinding? Or I haven't really been in that area, and I hate to see something really stay there for 30 years after we try to clean it up.
There will be grinding done as well.
To be grinding. Okay.
Alderman Laws.
Director Cummings may be able to clarify this. So Sarah Marchant gave us a presentation at Performance and Economic Development. I believe it was the 19th of November. If anybody's interested, it was pretty thorough and really exciting, but she definitely touched on the tree situation, the tree removal. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. I'm positive this was probably covered, but I just want to ask about what's the plan to replace trees as we go to develop this area, because I know it can be a touchy subject for neighbors especially.
Yes, so in select areas, there will be trees reintroduced appropriately. We have VHB on board that will help us through that process. That will be later on down the line, after we actually do the infrastructure improvements that we're contemplating. But yes, there will be some reintroduction of trees appropriately along the riverfront. But to that point, we have made a concerted effort to outreach to the public. There is signage down at the riverfront. We have walked the riverfront a couple of times. We've had a couple public meetings on this initiative, as well as I've outreached to all the various large landowners in the area to make sure that they're aware of this. And in fact, part of this contract calls for us to walk the area with the landowners to make sure everyone understands the effort that we're undertaking.
Can I follow up?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can you mentioned BHP,
VHB.
VHB.
which is
VHB is a civil engineering firm, a multidisciplinary civil engineering firm that is a contract later on this evening that will be actually implementing the riverfront plan.
a follow up, please.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm gonna get really geeky about trees. My brother and my father are both in tree removal. That's what they do. So civil engineering makes sense. Will they have an arborist that they work with? Because it's very important to get the right kind of trees.
Yes.
Great. That's all.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract for construction management services for public health renovation project with a value of $17,000. The department is 183 Economic Development Fund bond. I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract for construction management services for a public health renovation project to Martini Northern LLC in the amount of $17,000. Funds are available in Department 183 Economic Development Fund bond.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes, thank you. For the record, Tim Cummings, Director of Economic Development. I apologize. There was a miscommunication on my end here. The what should be before you this evening should read for not to exceed $108,000, which would be 3.5% of the GMP, which we predicated off of the hard construction cost of $2.6 million, which is what we're currently costing the public health building at. However, there's an additional safeguard built into this initiative, which asks that the purchase order only be issued for $17,000, which would be the pre-planning services for Martini Northern.
So this is for pre-planning.
Pre-construction, I should say.
Pre-construction service. Discussion?
Okay.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Sure. Does anything need to change here? I was just confused by what. Do you need this to be updated to 108?
Please.
Okay. So the value is actually 108,000? Even?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I was looking at you, but you were looking down.
Sorry.
Shall I remove it?
All right, so the motion is now to approve this item for a total of $108,000. Correct?
Yes. So moved.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract for design and project management of Nashua Downtown Riverfront implementation with a value of $437,653. The department is 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront Promenade TIF.
Discussion? Mr. Cummings?
Thank you. Again, Tim Cummings, Director of Economic Development. So what you have before you is the contract I was referencing a few minutes ago. VHB responded to an RFQ that we submitted this summer. and we had 5 firms respond to us. We actually interviewed all 5 firms. The TIF Advisory Committee through the month of August, I'm sorry, through the month of July, worked to develop a scope with VHB, which is the scope that you have before you. We were limited on the amount of funds available. The first time we received a scope from VHB, it came in around $800,000. What we decided to do was phase this contract over a 2-year period because we wanted to use the available cash that was in the TIF fund, which is why you're seeing this first phase at just over $400,000. You'll see a second contract to continuing design services for next year, which will be hopefully less once we have some of this design in, but will still be somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 or in that range. That will allow us then to start construction after we get through the full design phase period. Additionally, I want to just make sure it's clear that we have approximately available to us $750,000. The $200,000 that you just approved will be coming from the same account as what's being approved tonight for this contract. That will leave approximately $100,000 left, which would go towards maintenance, snow removal, and general upkeep of the riverfront area, and that's how the TIF funds will be expended over this year. And I have had a couple conversations with the PEDC committee on this initiative, and I've gone into greater detail at those meetings.
I don't think I moved it.
Pardon?
I don't think I made the motion.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Alderwoman Kelly.
Sure. I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract for design and project management of Nashua Downtown Riverfront implementation to VHB in the amount of $437,653. Funds are available in Department 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront Promenade TIF.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract for wet weather influent screening upgrade. Construction engineering services with a value of $148,800. The department is 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater. I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract for wet weather and influent screening upgrade construction engineering services to Wright Pierce in the amount of $148,800. Funds are available in Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater.
And you know, of course, because he's here very often, Mr. Boucher from the
Nice to see you.
wastewater treatment plant. Why don't you, these are both, basically, these 2 items, both related, so can you just explain the 2 items?
Yes, David Boucher, Superintendent of the Wastewater Facility. This is the project in the wet weather facility to change out the mechanical bar racks, which removes large debris before it goes to the facility for treatment, any of the wastewater flows. This first one is for the engineering firm that designed the replacement of and the deconstruction of the old. We like to have them on board to oversee the construction. They also were on board for the bidding process as well. We've done a lot of work with Wright Pierce, and they do a good job for us. You want me to explain the second one too?
Yeah,
Okay, so the second one is to award the construction company, Waterline Industries. They were the low bidder. We received 2 bids. We checked references. References were good. And Wright Pierce, the engineering firm, also worked with this company in the past and said they do a good job and highly recommended them. So.
And can you explain what the wet weather facility is and does?
Yes, the wet weather facility is an independent treatment facility. It's kind of like a total package plant within the wastewater facility. So the main wastewater facility can handle flows up to 50 million gallons a day. Anything over that, up to 60 million gallons. Well, the wet weather facility can handle 60 million extra gallons for a total of 110 million gallons of treated wastewater.
And the purpose of the wet weather is to capture stormwater that has
Correct.
come through through the,
Because our flows increase quickly when it rains heavy. So,
Alderman Laws.
Just out of curiosity, how often are you running at capacity with something like that?
it's hard to tell because
Yeah.
of the rain, but, at least 12 times a year. But we have the capability, if we need to do work at our wastewater facility and have to close the main gate, we can force flows through this independent facility.
Now, this is related to the issue of the CSO, combined sewer overflows, because this wet weather facility has not been functioning at peak capacity since it was constructed, since it was completed, when? When was it?
2009.
2009. And it can, when it's not functioning at full capacity, it means that there's, at select times and select locations, there is more overflow out of the combined sewer system than really there should be. Making these changes and making the wet weather facility function at maximum capacity, if we can get it there, will mean less combined sewer overflow incidents throughout the system. And the EPAs and DES are very interested in this issue.
Correct.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. To what you said, Mayor, Mr. Boucher, I would imagine this has a savings kind of hidden in the weeds a bit. But the point is, we're paying a fine to the EPA every single time we have to let it go untreated, correct?
No, we don't pay
Oh,
a fine
okay.
every time we would have
We
to
would.
if we did. But we do have minimal treatment through this facility. We can pass it through, but the facility has a hard time treating because large pieces of debris clogs up our system throughout the facility, so we're trying to avoid that. And when the screens get all plugged up because we can't remove the debris, flow backs into the wastewater system when it should be going through treatment. And that's where we receive some of the CSO problems.
All right.
Alderwoman Karen.
Yeah, thank you. So in the past year, we have spent a lot of money over at the treatment plant. Are we at the point where we are at a better place than we were 3 years ago?
I would assume so. I've been there 2 years, but yes. In the 2
Okay.
years I've been there, we're at a better place.
Okay, because
Yeah.
we have spent a lot of money, and people do ask that question, and a lot of this was because we hadn't maintained and kept up with the problems that were taking place. So we just want to make sure that, because that goes down, as I've
Yeah.
said before, it affects everyone. It doesn't just affect a few people, so,
We have a lot of projects going on now, and it's definite improvements to the facility.
okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motions, so we have a motion on the first item at this point. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kukin, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract for wet weather influent screening upgrade construction services with a value of $1,237,677. Department is 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater. I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract for wet weather influent screening upgrade construction services to Waterline Industries Corporation in the amount of $1,237,677. Funds are available in Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. New business resolutions, we have none. Record of expenditures. Thank you, Mr. Boucher.
Thank you.
Is there a motion on the record of expenditures?
Yep, I move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period from November 15, 2019 to November 28, 2019.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public comment. I don't see any members of the public who wish to comment. Remarks by Alderman. There is no non-public session. Oh, I missed general discussion, I'm sorry. Did I call general discussion?
You did not.
General discussion, we'll just take that out of order. Any general discussion or remarks by Alderman? Nope, all right. Alderman O'Brien.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
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 And the meeting of the Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:20 PM.